started this channel about a year and a half ago. And when I started it, I originally was just going to do a Red Dead Redemption 2 tutorial. That was it. I had no aspirations of doing like unboxing videos, reviews, anything like that. It was just a tutorial page, and that's all I was gonna do. It was pretty much just to kill time. But then the channel started growing, and it's really encouraging actually, I wasn't expecting any of this. Now obviously I'm still a small channel, but I'm growing. So again, that's encouraging. So I was looking through YouTube and I saw other content creators that did these unboxing videos of new products. Now obviously a year and a half ago, the Evercade was already out for 2.5 years, something like that. I think it came out in 2020. I never heard of it at that time, and I didn't have a channel at that time. So one day I was just surfing the web. I happened to go to Amazon and I came across the Evercade, and I was reading about it, and it was saying it was a retro game console, and there was also a handheld called the EXP. So what I did was I ended up ordering both of them because they seemed really intriguing. Well, I got it. I did an unboxing video on it, and I was like, man, this thing's really cool. It can hold 2 carts, and you don't have to keep changing out the carts all the time because the carts had multiple games on them. And, that handheld played the exact same carts. I was like, man, this thing is super cool, man. This is going to be awesome. And the thing that really pulled me into the Evercade ecosystem were those purple carts, those arcade carts, because I was a huge arcade fan. I shouldn't say was, I still am. But when I did this unboxing, it immediately hit me. I was like, man, the best way to play arcade carts would be on an actual arcade. So that kind of inspired me to build what I now call the Freecade, and it is powered by my Evercade VS. Now granted, Evercade offers more than just arcade carts. They also do these red color carts. See, the cases are color coded, so the red carts are different console games and independent games, and then they also have blue carts, which are home computer carts, such as the Amiga and Commodore 64, which isn't really my bag. I'm not really into that stuff. So naturally, I don't own any of those. I do own a Commodore 64, but I don't play it because I think it's an awful system. I just don't have the heart to sell it or anything because I know it's an important piece in gaming history. So I will always keep that, but it is in a storage box and it's safe. It's just not in my game room. So back to the Evercade. This was something new for me, where others have been playing it for 2.5 years. So I was really, really excited to get this thing, and it didn't disappoint. However, what happened later was kind of a disappointment the more I learned about Evercade. First off, these carts, they're not high quality carts. The price point is great because they run $20 when they are released. Eventually they go up to $23, $25 until resellers get a hold of them, and they will just jack the prices up like they do with everything. So the price point was a big factor for me also. I don't like getting ripped off when it comes to games, especially these older games. So I thought they did a really good job, but they are done kind of cheap. They're pretty much just ROM dumps on a cart, and they're not the highest quality, but they do look good. Not every game is perfect on there. You will get some screen tears on a couple games, not all of them. And you just gotta kind of expect that. You kind of get what you pay for. But this Evercade was everything to me. I mean, I was like, holy crap, man. I shouldn't say everything. It was everything that I was looking for at the time. and it still scratches that retro itch that I have. I no longer have that itch because I can get all these games anyway on Evercade for fairly cheap. I've done price comparisons where I took all the games from different carts and I showed what they go for individually. So you saved a shit ton of money going this route. Now the part that really bummed me out is when I started really digging deep into the Evercade, like with the game of the month and everything. Again, I was new to this. I didn't realize that you have to update the system to get these different games of the month. And I was like, man, when I think of retro, I don't think of Wi-Fi. I don't think of updates, because back in the day, the updates were a completely different game. It was a remastered game or a director's cut game. You didn't plug your system up to the internet, I should say. So that kind of threw me off. Now, I do think that the games of the month are, it's a nice perk that Blaze gives us, but they don't really give us a good high quality game with that perk. A lot of these games of the month, obviously they're from independent game creators, which I do support, but I do feel that Blaze just lets anybody give it a whirl. And then, we don't have to play them if we don't want. In fact, we don't even have to update the system if we don't want. But I'm always curious where I'm like, okay, well, let's see what this next game is like, because it is an independent game maker and I do want to support them. But a vast majority of the times, these games are absolutely horrible, the games of the month. The other thing that I'm not real keen on are they have cart updates. And this is where the real bad news started hitting, where people's carts were bricking. And if you didn't have that cart receipt, Evercade was not going to give you a replacement cart. I don't think that we should have to even deal with problems like that, especially in 2024. We shouldn't have to update like 20 to 30-year-old games at this point in time. These should be games that they're already on the cart. You should just be able to put it in and play, which, a majority of the times you can. And it's really up to you if you want to do the cart update. It does give you an option to do so. After seeing all these problems, I've lucked out because I have updated some carts, but I've never had any issues. None of my carts have bricked or anything like that. But after seeing other content creators' carts brick, I do not do cart updates anymore. I will do system updates once in a while. I don't know if I'm going to on the next one, because the perk you get for that is the new game of the month. And like I said earlier, most game of the months I think suck. I know there are a lot of people that do like them, but I just don't think, even though the cards are only $20, I think it's a waste of $20 personally. But to each their own. Everyone has their own preferences. Now, the really cool thing about the Evercade is, since I've been in the ecosystem, is watching it grow. When I first got into this, it was really expanding, like, for the good. Definitely for the good. At the end of last year, we got the Duke Nukem remastered. Them 2 Duke Nukem cards were incredible. I only have the one because I'm not into first-person shooters, but I was like, man, that's a strong, end of the year right there. And then they said, it's even going to be better this year. Well, it hasn't been. They have put out some really cool things where they announced, we're going to get Giga carts where they can put bigger games on it, which is really awesome. And the next Giga cart, or the first Giga cart that's coming out, is a Tomb Raider collection, which, cool, man. I love Tomb Raider. I'm not super excited about that, but that's a start in the right direction. That's cool. Bigger games. Who doesn't love that? And those carts for all 3 games on that one cart. It's going to be Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be $25. Those Giga carts run about $5 more, which fair enough. That's not bad at all. But it's been pretty lackluster when it comes to what they have offered so far in 2024. I have not really been interested in too many. I was interested in that Tomb Raider cart. I am going to get that. But after that, we didn't get anything. I don't care about the Pico collection with Glover on it. I thought Glover was a dumb game to begin with for the N64, and that's the version that they have on the cart. So I wasn't real excited about that. I'm pretty sick of seeing Pico collections because honestly, I think Pico have already gave us their best. Everything after that first one I thought had pretty much been dog shit, just not my style at all. Maybe some people like it. I'm really sick of the C64 collections because, come on, man, there's so many better retro games out there than the C64. I mean, people need to quit sticking up for C64 and face the facts. It was not a good system. There might have been a few good games for it, but it's not as good as Blaze seems to think it is. Luckily, we do have 2 arcade carts coming out in November, but only one of the 2 I think is worth it. The Toa Plan 3 looks absolutely amazing. I did recently do a video on gameplay of every game that is on there, and that is going to be a banger of a cart. Unfortunately, the Data East cart, I am making a video currently on that. Going to show gameplay of all the games on that. Yeah, not too excited about that. That is not a good game or good cart at all. I'm sorry. The other thing that they are offering is something called the Evercade Alpha, and these are tabletop arcades. I recently did a video to show a size comparison because I have the dimensions for the Alpha, and it is pretty much the exact same size as the Miss Pac-Man Arcade 1-Up tabletop arcade. These things are only 16 inches high, and I think it's like a 8 or 10 inch screen on it, not real big, and they want $250 for it. I mean, I have a Marvel versus Capcom Arcade 1-Up that, it has 2 players on it. I didn't even pay that price for it, and it was brand new. I think I paid $150 for that one. So I think these alphas are a little bit overpriced. Granted, you can play your Evercade carts, and they also have 6 games built in. But on that same video, I showed how I built my Freecade, which is a full-size arcade machine that can play my Evercade carts. And now I can play all them games that are also on the Alpha. So I showed, it doesn't cost as much to build a full-size arcade with the wood and hardware compared to the Alpha. I actually built that thing for about $10 cheaper. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that making the Evercade Alpha was a bad idea. I think it's a really cool idea because not everybody has the room to put a full-size arcade in their home. So these Evercade Alphas, they're compact, they're small, they're not going to take up a lot of room. So it is a good option for some people. However, I am against the price point. $250 I believe is a little bit steep. I know there's a lot of people out there that do stick up for the price, and I really don't know why, because I literally show like how much it cost me in one of my videos when I built my full-size arcade. I don't believe $250 is a fair price. Maybe $150 to $175 would have been all right, but definitely not over $200, especially for the size of these things. But that's totally up to you. Blaze needs to make their money, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that are willing to pay that price. I'm just not one of them. I get more enjoyment out of playing on a arcade machine that I built myself. I mean, it's just, I don't know, a satisfying feeling, I guess. But this isn't about to rip on Blaze or Evercade or anything like that, because I do love Blaze Evercade. I think it's great. It has really satisfied my retro itch. I absolutely love it. And now I think the really cool thing that they have done, and I think this is a big deal, especially for Blaze as a company, they are now putting out the VS and EXP at a lower price. I paid $120 for my Evercade VS Premium Pack, which came with 2 arcade carts and 2 controllers. And now you can get the Evercade VS, and it does only come with 1 controller, but it's a different color. It's black now. It's a new color scheme, and it is $99.99. You can also get the EXP, which I think I paid like $150 for when it was released, and that came with a Capcom library built in, and I forget how many games are on that, quite a few, but it also came with the IRAM arcade cart. This new version is also a different color. This is black. It does not have the Capcom library in it, and it doesn't come with the IRAM cart, but it does have a bundle where it comes with the new Tomb Raider, and that is also $99.99. So I think this new price point is going to really help Evercade bring in more people to the Evercade ecosystem, which would be great because that's more money for them, and that means they can get better licensing, better games, and hopefully we see better carts in the future. As for me, I'm pretty sick of seeing new hardware. I guess that's my big thing. I wasn't trying to really rip on the Evercade Alpha, but me personally, I bought the Evercade for the games. I don't care about the hardware. I'm looking forward to new games, and I think they have a lot of catching up to do for me personally with the purple arcade carts. That is the reason why I bought this system. That's the reason why I built the Freecade. That's just what I love most about the Evercade. So I do hope that they succeed. I do hope that everything that they are putting out, I hope it sells well. But I'm also not going to lie and tell people that everything is perfect on the Evercade. Like I said, I just issued my gripes in this video. I don't like the fact that they keep putting out Pico carts. I don't like the C64 carts. It's like, man, give me some more arcade carts. Now, obviously, they don't just make these carts for me personally. They make them for everyone, and I think that's cool. But it's almost like they're recycling their companies, man. Like, everything is Pico, C64. Give us some new stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'd rather have games than hardware. Let me know what you guys think. I do recommend getting an Evercade. It's a good, it's good when it comes to price, and it saves you a shit ton of money than going and getting these games individually, because a lot of these games are super expensive, especially from resellers. I mean, come on, man. You can't beat a multi-cart for $20. Yeah, I highly recommend getting yourself an Evercade, but just don't expect perfection, because that's not what you're gonna get. Don't expect like the highest quality, because it isn't the highest quality. But for what I paid, and it was brand new at that time for $120 for the VS, heck yeah, man. It was worth every cent, especially now that it is running my full-size arcade machine. I absolutely love it, and I think it's even a better deal now that you can get it, I believe it's in November, for $100. I mean, you won't regret it, especially if you are a retro gaming fan. And it's really up to you if you want to do those cart updates or system updates for like the game of the month. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of all of this. if you don't have an Evercade and are planning on getting one, or if you have one, how do you feel about it after all the time that you've had with it? Good, bad? Let me know in the comments section. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out this channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, game on, everybody.